Only 42 minutes on the clock here at the Toughsheet Community Stadium. Bolton Wanderers 1, Stevenage 1. Jamie Reid with the equaliser for Stevenage after Dion Charles had opened the scoring from the penalty spot for Bolton Wanderers. It was a great bit of build-up for the penalty decision to have been made. Of course, Cal Dempsey went down. He was ripped down and hacked down in the box by the Stevenage man, and Dion Charles gladly tucked on the penalty into the keeper's bottom left-hand corner. Stevenage went to the other end 5 minutes later and got a goal through Jamie Reid, but Bolton Wanderers have struggled tonight to keep possession of this football. Just can't quite string the amount of passes that you'd normally see them string together in the attacking phase of play. And Stevenage are up there this season, and you can clearly see why. They're streetwise, and they aren't going to be an easy pushover this evening. So then half-time at the Toughsheet Community Stadium. Bolton Wanderers 1, Stevenage 1. A bit of a tricky game for Bolton Wanderers this evening. Stevenage have made it very, very difficult, of course. Very direct, very well organised, and very, very streetwise under Steve Evans. And I mean that in the most complimentary way towards a man that has been in the game a hell of a long time, has managed at all levels, and of course has had a lot of success playing the brand of football that he does. Bolton have struggled to come to terms with the way that Stevenage have played and approached this game, even though Ian Evatt will have briefed his side many times this week leading up to this one. They've struggled to keep hold of the ball. Bolton Wanderers, they've not really knocked it around with too much intent. Of course, possession's been good on terms of, in terms of what it looks like on a piece of paper, 66% possession, but it's what you do with that football, of course, in home games that matters, and for me it's not been purposeful enough in that first half. Still 1-1 though. Dion Charles took his goal well, of course, from the penalty spot. Dempsey earned it really well as well, was hacked down in the box, and Dion Charles took advantage of it. And then when you look at Stevenage going up the other end and making sure that they're in on the act, they work the ball well for their goal as well. Yes, again, it was very direct, but Jamie Reid managed to beat his man and slot it calmly under Nathan Baxter to make it 1-1. Other than that, really, there's nothing really of note really to talk about, other than the fact that Bolton Wanderers are still drawing 1-1. This is still a must-win game, in my honest opinion, to keep the run going towards the Christmas period, where Bolton, for me, need to be top of the division, if not second. And, of course, there's still 45 minutes to play, so all to play for in this one. Bolton 1, Stevenage 1. Let's see what they can do in the second half. Well then, as you can probably tell, the Toughsheet is absolutely raving inside this stadium now in Horwich. Of course, Bolton Wanderers have recently scored the second goal of the game. A brilliant corner from Josh Sheehan, whipped towards the back post with a plumb, and the arriving Jack Iredale cushioned finished it on the volley into the back of the Stevenage goal. That made it Bolton Wanderers 2, Stevenage 1, and Bolton Wanderers have kept pushing, knocking the ball around with real intent now. Ian Evatt's clearly rallied the troops and asked them to look after the football and try and make things a lot tidier in the second half. It's fluid football from Bolton Wanderers. They're dominant now. Come on. So then a 60-minute update for you. Cameron Jerome enters the field of play. Dan Lunderloo departs the field of play for Bolton Wanderers. It's all Bolton Wanderers now. It has been since half-time, really. Stevenage very limited going forward. Very direct still. Nothing really on the deck from Stevenage in this second half so far. And Bolton Wanderers seem to win the ball back within that 5 or 6 seconds that Ian Evatt desires, and then knock the ball around with real intent. It's been really good football from Bolton Wanderers in this second half, and I'm sure that if they keep playing it, they'll get a third and maybe even a fourth as the game wears on. But Bolton currently in control of this one, around 60 minutes on the clock, and it's good to see. And just as we say that, Jamie Reid scores number 2 for Stevenage. Penalty in the end for Stevenage. Cameron Jerome with what the referee deemed to be a high foot. It looked like he had his back to the player, and it was Carl Piergiani that in the end took the knock to the face the referee deemed. And Cameron Jerome's literally put his leg in the air to try and knock the ball away, completely unaware that Piergiani's there. He's caught him on the face. Whether Piergiani leaned in or not doesn't matter. The referee gave a penalty, and Jamie Reid gladly obliged to tuck it home for his second and Stevenage's number 2. Bolton Wanderers 2, Stevenage 2, and against the run of play, after a tiny bit of possession, Stevenage have got themselves an equaliser here. Bolton again need to ask themselves the big question. Well, there you go then, Josh Sheehan gladly answering the question that we said Bolton Wanderers will be asked by both the fans and by Stevenage. Josh Sheehan receiving the ball back from Iredale this time. Of course, he assisted Iredale for the volley with the inside of Iredale's foot just a while back now, but Josh Sheehan managed to get the ball under control, turn, twist, do exactly what we know he can do really well. Ricardo Santos called him a genius last week when I spoke to him, and of course he reverses the ball back across the keeper, Ashby Hammond, and slots it home into the keeper's right and bottom corner for Bolton Wanderers' third goal. It was an unbelievably wonderful goal, lots of agility, lots of skill, and an unbelievably exquisite finish from that man from Wales, Josh Sheehan. Bolton Wanderers 3, Stevenage 2. What a goal that was. What a save that is then from Nathan Baxter. The Bolton Wanderers goalkeeper has just pulled off an unbelievable save up to his top left-hand corner. It's an exquisitely hit volley on the sidewinder, and he's managed to get up there to his top left and push that one over the top of the bar. Really good save from Nathan Baxter. And if you'd ever doubted his shot-stopping ability, he's just reminded every Bolton Wanderers fan and Stevenage fan in this ground what he can do when shots are struck at him with even that much power. Brilliant, brilliant save. Bolton still work to do though. Don't really want to be clinging on to this 3-2 for too much longer. 80 minutes on the clock here. It's Bolton 3, Stevenage 2. So then 8 minutes added on here at the Toughsheet Community Stadium between Bolton Wanderers and Stevenage. Bolton Wanderers fans not too happy about the fact that 8 minutes have been added on here, but that is what's been added on, and Bolton are going to have to ride a bit of a storm or maybe even go on and get a fourth in this one. You prefer the latter, but of course it is a game where Stevenage will continue to push now and play direct football to try and get themselves back down south with a point from the Toughsheet Community Stadium. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens at the end of this one. But Bolton Wanderers fans not happy with the 8 minutes. Doesn't matter though, does it, in the end, because there is 8 minutes to play. There you go then, Bolton Wanderers fans. 3-2 it finishes at the Toughsheet Community Stadium. Great win in the end, hard-working one for Bolton Wanderers. That really, really was. Stevenage were very direct, very difficult to play against. Credit Steve Evans for the way that he set his side up. They came with a bit of football on the deck, of course. Good possession in parts, especially in the second half, and decent bits of possession in the first half too at the start of the game. And they also know to go direct and be streetwise and time waste and everything else as well. So credit to them for all of that. But Bolton Wanderers football in the second half was much better than in the first half. They managed the ball much better, they knocked the ball around, they linked up better, and they took their chances. Of course, there was many more chances they didn't take, but the ones that matter in the end were the big ones, and Bolton Wanderers took the big chances. Josh Sheehan with a fantastic goal as well to top off what's been a really, really, really good 7 days for him after 2 goals against United's under-21s last week. Let's not forget he assisted Jack Idale as well for the cushion volley past the Stevenage keeper Ashby Hammond. And let's not forget that Bolton Wanderers had questions to answer in that game as well. It wasn't all their own way, it wasn't straightforward, but Bolton managed to get the job done in the end and back up the 1-0 win against Port Vale at Vale Park on Saturday with a 3-2 win at home against a Stevenage side that asked questions of them, and questions were asked by Bolton Wanderers, Ian Ever and the players.